Arty's Community Corner, a show dedicated to exploring all the great events and programs by nonprofit organizations from all around the world. Sit back and relax and join Arty and friends as they tell all about causes and ways that you can help out too. Arty's Community Corner airing on epsportsnetwork.com.
Everybody to another edition of Arty's Community Corner. I am Ace Acosta, and we are joined by the Boggs family here in far west El Paso. We are joined by Jacob and Courtney Boggs here to talk about the Cure Mito. I've been saying it wrong earlier, but it's not Mito, it's the Mito Foundation here. Jacob and Courtney, thank you so much for joining us this lovely Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So we have a lot to talk about this cause that's deep to your guys' heart. But first, I want to kind of find out how you guys came to be. Can you tell us the first time you guys actually met?
We met at some point in high school. We went to Franklin High School, and we were acquaintances maybe at best.
Yeah.
And then reconnected post-graduate school. She went to Texas for undergrad and graduate school, and she's a lot smarter than me. She became a nurse practitioner. And I got a degree to go work in sports, and now I work with the elderly. So, but we connect. We both moved back to El Paso, and about age 30, reconnected, just hanging out as friends. And probably 2.5 years later, she just wanted to marry me. So we got married. I had to do what she said.
And Courtney, right there, what was it about Jacob that I guess caught your eye?
Oh, the way he makes me laugh. always joking and brings a smile to my face. And
Now you guys have two daughters, Riley and Emma. Riley, the oldest there. When you guys became parents for the first time, what was that range of emotions for one being new parents?
Well, I'll start, and then Courtney can finish. But I remember the first night, we were just telling the kids a week ago or so about the first night Riley was born. They bring the babies now into the room with the parents, and so I'm sleeping on the very uncomfortable hospital bench, couch, whatever you want to call it, and I just hear Riley crying. It seemed like I didn't sleep for a while, like weeks, maybe months, but I remember that first night thinking, oh my gosh, this is never ending with the crying. And Courtney said, well, this is what it's all about. And I thought, what in the world did I do? But it's been a joy, and I'll let Courtney, sorry, I just had to throw that in there, but it's been a joy. Actually, our daughters are awesome little girls, and we're super blessed with them.
For you, Courtney, being a mom, what has that been like for you?
A love that you just can't describe, and just immediate, you just instantly fall in love with this little human being and will do anything for this little person, go to the ends of the earth for them. And so it was just like, wow, you can't describe the feeling that they've brought so much joy and just such a huge blessing to our lives, both of our girls.
Now when Emma was born here, child number 2, it's always going to be challenging just with one. But now when child number 2's on the way, what was your guys' kind of plans? Like, okay, how do we kind of adjust? What's the life look at that moment?
Well, we were both working. And Courtney was working as a nurse practitioner, and we had our first child, Riley, and Courtney stayed home. She took paternity leave and went maternity. Excuse me, maternity. See, like I said, she's a smart one. But she's taking maternity leave and went back to work, and we were just kind of living the typical 2-parent, both parents going to work and having income, and we were doing well together that way and saving money. We're not extravagant people. We don't buy fancy things. We just kind of basic, early, simple people. Mm-hmm. And I thought we were on the road to just, down the road being set financially. And with Emma came around, and we changed the course of that, definitely.
Now, when Emma was born there, and being now that you're a girl dad, how was that, feeling like? Were you was the plan to be boy girl, or just, girls all the way? What was your mindset on that?
It was always up to God. I didn't have anything any say in that. I did always assume, right? But you don't ever assume. I did always assume that I was going to have boys because I'm the oldest of 5. I have one sister. I love sports. I thought I'm going to have all these boys and have 2 girls.
God had different plans.
That's right.
So when you have Courtney, when you have Emma there to see your second daughter there, what was that moment for you?
Yes, it was, again, just like Riley, but her birth was a little more traumatic. So I was just kind of anticipating that it would be smooth like Riley and everything go okay, and you hold your baby for the first time and it's all those feelings. But with Emma, they took me back for a C-section like I had with Riley, and then immediately right after she came out, she wasn't breathing well, and they had to rush her off. They had to bag her, and she developed a large pneumothorax, had to be intubated, chest tube, and in the NICU for a while. For 6 or 7 days we were in the NICU. But it was just, I couldn't kiss my baby for the first time like I could Riley, or even hold her for several days until they would allow us to.
Now there, how did you guys lean on each other there, especially this new unknown, as it's your second child, and then this comes across for you guys? Like, what did you guys kind of do to help each other at that moment?
Yes, at this moment we didn't know that she had a genetic disease. We thought, it was just some birth trauma. And children with Leigh syndrome, like she has, they don't typically have any difficulty at birth. So it was just, we didn't know there was any genetic problem. We just, we leaned on each other because it was scary. We could have lost her because of the trauma that she went through, and it was devastating. I remember waiting in the recovery room, just like, what's going on? Nobody had come to talk to me. What seemed like an eternity waiting to hear what was going on with her, before Jacob came in and told me everything's okay, they have her stabilized, and we just comforted each other, prayed, and just thank God she did start to improve.
Now, Jacob, for you, seeing that, unable to, I guess, take care of your daughter at that moment, letting the doctors, do what they need to do, what was going through your mind, and how did you kind of I guess, overcome that in the beginning part?
Sure. It's actually just kind of what you alluded to, Ace, was letting the doctors do their job. So we have a daughter, and when she came out, when they pulled her out of Courtney, she was blue, so she wasn't breathing well. I can see, and Courtney looked at me, and I forget, she said something along the lines of, "How does she look?" or "How is she?" And I was like, "Oh, she looks fine." So for me, I'm always trying to keep things calm and cool, no overreacting to situations, because it doesn't do any good. So for me, it was just keeping calmness, keeping peace, letting the doctors do what they want to do, making sure Courtney's taken care of, and trying to give her the peace that she needs as well. And so that way, because it's a very emotional time, and there's a lot of hormones and going on with women and Courtney at that time, and it's just a matter of trying to keep her calm as possible.
Yeah, like I said before, we had no idea that she had this genetic syndrome, Leigh syndrome. We didn't know she had a genetic disease. So we were just anticipating, the doctors were telling us that she was going to recover in several days, be able to go home. And so, and she did. She recovered pretty quickly. We were only there like 6 or 7 days and then got to go home. And she was just like a typical newborn. She was doing great. We didn't know anything was wrong because she starts meeting all her milestones. She's doing everything. She's sitting when she's supposed to sit. She's crawling. She's babbling and talk. She started talking really early, and she was talking a lot and very clear and strong, and just a happy, smart little girl. Very smart, witty. She's just wise beyond her years ever since she was tiny. And she was meeting those milestones, hitting all those marks until the walking. She was delayed in the walking when we were anticipating. Well, Riley, our other daughter, didn't walk until 15 months. So Emma, we thought, well, 15 months came around and she took a couple steps. but then she didn't walk until 19 months. And so we thought, that's odd, but okay, maybe she's just a little delayed, you know. And then she also wasn't eating well or growing well. She was falling off the growth chart. We couldn't get her to eat anything except nurse. She would only nurse. Her first 18 months of life, she only nursed. She wouldn't take any food. And that was a challenge with me working full time. I couldn't feed her, and she wouldn't take a bottle from my mom, who was caring for her at the time. So she had to get a feeding tube at age 18 months because she was failure to thrive. She was dropping off the growth chart and not getting the nutrition she needed.
And on that, there, seeing that, what led you to go to try to say, okay, let's get some more tests done, because this ain't right.
Right.
What was that kind of process like?
And throughout this whole period, I would mention my concerns to the doctors, you know, and they'd say, you know, she'll come around. She's delayed, but she just needs a little feeding therapy or speech therapy to help her learn how to eat. But you know, that mom instinct that's so strong, and I have the nurse practitioner background, and I know something's not right here. You just have that instinct, and that we also knew what we went through with Riley, comparing that, and that it was just not. Her muscle tone was low, a little bit low on the lower side, and she just wasn't eating, and I was like, that's not right, and the fact that she wasn't growing. So from there, we did labs, and some of her labs came back abnormal, and so we went to Texas Children's Hospital in Houston and saw a geneticist there, and they did genetic testing on Jacob, myself, and Emma, and determined that she has the SIRF1 mutation, which causes Leigh Syndrome. And Leigh Syndrome is a mitochondrial disease, a form of mitochondrial disease. And there's many different mutations that can cause Leigh Syndrome. SIRF1 is one of the mutations that can cause Leigh Syndrome, and it's all under the umbrella of mitochondrial disease.
Now, getting that news there is it's shocking. It's shocking there, especially because you, as a parent, you want to make sure you're providing the best and giving that environment for your child there. What was that conversation like between you both to, like, okay, we just got this news here. What was it like? Like, what was your guys' next steps?
It was just soul crushing, shocking. There's our little girl in the corner of the doctor's office playing with her toys, and just like a typical child at that point, she was doing really well at that point, and we didn't expect that kind of devastating disease where the doctors are in the office telling us there's no treatment or cure. There's nothing that can be done. Take your little girl home and enjoy her. And I just wanted to fall to my knees at that moment, but I kept my composure. And I just remember going to the hotel room afterward, and we just held each other and cried. And Emma's just walking around the hotel room, laughing and being her little self. And Jacob and I are just devastated and holding each other. But we had to pick ourselves up and just be strong for her, you know. So we just enjoyed the rest of our vacation there and just made it as normal as possible for Emma. And that's what we've done all along. Had to be just strong for her.
And Jacob, for you, what was going through your mindset when all that is being shared to you?
Yeah, it's definitely shocking, but again, just staying level and calm and control what you can. I've always had the mindset in any situation, I'm going to control what I can. And if I can't, I'm not going to worry about it. So, not saying I'm not concerned about my daughter's new diagnosis, but as a father, I'm going to do whatever I can. And it's not just Emma that I have to worry about. I have to worry about everyone in the house and make sure everyone's calm and cool. And as a leader, I've got to, make sure we're composed and we're going to still live life. And
just have joy, joy for them, and give them the best life possible, the life that they both deserve. And just, we have strong faith in God, and He's got us through. He gets us through every day.
Cure Mito Foundation is led by parents like you. We volunteer our time to raise funds for a cure, work on a patient registry, create resources and support for families. Our newest project is about LeighSyndrome.com, a new website and a landing place for patients, families, providers, and all looking to find information on Leigh syndrome, hope, and strength. Leigh Syndrome Global Patient Registry is our other important project. Results of your participation in the registry are always shared back with you, and data can be obtained for research at no cost. Your participation is important. Everything we are doing is for the entire community. If your family is affected by Leigh syndrome, we want to hear from you. Please visit our website or email us.
Now, after getting that diagnosis there, what steps did you guys do to, okay, like you said, the doctors told you that devastating news, but based on your faith and determination, like, we're going to do what we got to do to protect our daughter.
Right.
Finding those next steps of like, okay, what's our new norm?
Right.
How did you guys do that? And that maybe will help out somebody else that might be going through this situation or something similar. What were some of the steps that you guys took to like, okay, let's understand what this disease is and how do we move forward?
Yes, exactly. It's such an overwhelming time where you're just hit with this diagnosis and you're like, oh my gosh, I know nothing about this. I'm a nurse practitioner. I've never heard of this. I've never been taught. I don't know what mitochondrial disease is. I've never heard of it. And just having to learn everything from the ground up, trying to find all the resources out there, all the support out there. I found a lot of that through Facebook. And the doctors, they provide you some guidance, but you just pretty much, I feel like I felt alone on an island where like nobody knows anything about this disease. The doctors have no clue, you know. So I have to educate the doctors. We have to educate the doctors on it. So it was a lot of just learning on our own and step by step, but it very, very overwhelming and stressful and difficult to navigate without a lot of support or knowledge of this disease. But you find people. I found a support group on Facebook about a Leigh syndrome support group, and a lot of those parents helped provide that guidance. And so yeah, and for any families out there that are dealing with this difficult, any kind of rare disease diagnosis, you just do what you can. You find people out there that can help you and support you and guide you, and you do the best you can for your children, and you're strong for them, and you show them the love that they deserve.
And what age did this diagnosis take place on that? Did you say?
It was before she turned 2 years old. She was about 21 months old.
21 months old.
Yeah, so right after she got her feeding tube at 18 months, a couple months, 2 or 3 months after that, came this diagnosis.
Now, seeing your daughter's spirit and seeing the smile on her face, even going through that there, how much of an impact did that have on you, knowing that, okay, we're gonna beat this?
Yes. They tell you there's nothing that can be done, just take her home and enjoy her. Well, as parents, of course, we're not going to accept that answer. We love this little girl with all our life, and we'll do anything. We'll go to into the world for both of our girls. So we're not going to accept that. We're going to take that as an answer. We're going to fight and do everything it takes. So that's why we partnered with another family and formed the Cure Mito Foundation to fight, to raise money for research, and to raise awareness of this rare disease.
Now, going into starting this foundation there, like you said, it's an ultra rare disease. Not that many people know about it. To have a new project, not just necessarily project, but passion to do it, what drives you to help get this awareness out to those folks?
Yes. Not only for Emma, of course we want to fight for Emma, but for every child, every family out there. That's what drives us. We don't want any other family to endure this devastating, shocking, horrible, life-changing diagnosis where they tell you your child has this, there's nothing that can be done. We want to fight and get to a point where the doctors say your child has this and this is what can be done to help them, and not to have to watch and sit back and watch helplessly as your child starts to lose their milestones. So I think I missed out on that part where Emma, because children with Leigh syndrome, they're appear to be developing normally. You have no clue that anything is wrong with them, and then all of a sudden these children start to regress and lose their milestones, and that's one thing that is so difficult to sit back and watch. And not Emma, before her 3rd birthday, just days before her 3rd birthday, she lost the ability to walk. She was walking, she was delayed in her walking, didn't start till 19 months, but then at 3 years old lost that ability. And lost the ability, even her speech became very slurred and difficult to understand. She couldn't sit up. She was it's called ataxic, where they're just kind of wobbly. They've lost their balance. And children with Leigh syndrome lose the ability to walk, to talk, to eat, to swallow, all their motor skills. They maintain their cognitive abilities. They're sharp and smart. They're very bright kids, but their body starts to fail them. And that's what's so hard, because their brain knows something's going on, their body's failing them, and they understand what's going on. They're cognitively aware, but they don't understand other kids can do these things, why can't I do these things? And it's very hard as parents to watch your child lose their abilities and not be able to do anything about it. And so that's why we fight, and not just for Emma, for all the kids with Leigh syndrome and future generations of families that could be given this diagnosis. And we want to help all the families not to ever have to experience this.
There's some statistics that I see here. Like it says 1 in 40,000 are affected there, which is a staggering number there. Symptom starts between 2 months and 3 years old. So how do folks kind of get? People don't want to think about it, but if you see some signs of like something different, where should folks kind of go and kind of source out on that? Because you never know.
Right.
But you guys were luckily with your background, you're like,
Yes.
something ain't right.
Right.
Where can folks kind of like just go and try to reach out and get some more information on that?
Of course, always trust your instincts. Talk to your pediatricians, and they should refer you to the proper specialist, geneticist, to do the genetic testing. And that's hard to find here in El Paso. We don't have geneticists that I'm aware of. We had to travel. But then once you have that diagnosis of mitochondrial disease, if they receive that diagnosis of some form of mitochondrial disease, there's many different forms of mitochondrial disease, many different mutations that can cause mitochondrial disease. Like I said, Emma's is Leigh syndrome, which is a form of mitochondrial disease. So if they do end up with that diagnosis, they can go to our website at curemito.org, and we have a lot of resources and support to help people, and we have a lot of exciting and promising research happening
Which is great to hear, because like you said, you guys are fighting to bring more awareness on that. Now, moving back to the family aspect, with your daughter Riley on that, how much of a change for a child to experience her younger sister doing that and still trying to give her, I guess, a normal life per se? What were some of the things you guys did to still, you got this big task ahead here of providing this care for Emma 24/7, but you still have your other daughter that still is going through growth spurts as well. How do you guys balance that?
Yes. I'll let
Jacob?
you
That's definitely a challenge and a concern always. It was back early on, and it is now. It's just, you have to be aware of Riley, and that, hey, she's getting bounced around a lot, especially when Emma goes into the hospital, and we can get into Phoenix here in a little bit. But she gets bounced around a lot, and sometimes during that time she didn't even know where she's going to sleep that night. But to lead a normal life, we make things as normal as possible around our home for Emma. And obviously, there's a difference, but we have to still put Riley meet her needs and whether it's through academics or you have to expose her to, I'm a big believer in team sports. So it just helps you with life in general. So we've exposed her, we put her in basketball, YMCA basketball, volleyball, she's in jiu-jitsu, she's done swimming. And of all those, she actually loves jiu-jitsu. She's playing the violin this year. She's in 5th grade. She's in dance. So we try to keep that part normal, but also you have to make sure that she's getting one-on-one attention. Like there's times where I actually have had to tell Emma, because Emma is constant and it's not her fault. But she has no problem speaking up. And like just today, we come home from church and we're doing laundry and we're getting lunch ready, and Emma's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And so you can't just say go to the bathroom, and you have to pick her up and carry her over there, and then you have to wipe her. I mean, it's having a newborn who's 9 years old who can't do really
24-hour
yeah,
care.
it's nonstop. And then she has a tracheostomy, so then she needs what's called suctioning, so mucus starts building up. So then you got to. So there's a lot of stops. There's a lot of interruptions. So when there's an opportunity to spend with Riley, you have to do it. You have to take advantage of it. And sometimes Emma just will have unnecessary things like, "Hey, my Barbie's shorts fell down. Can you fix them?" They can wait, Emma.
How proud of you of her taking on the role of big sister? Knowing that her younger sister has some challenges that she has to overcome, but to see her thrive in that big sister role, how proud of you as parents are.
Yes.
Oh,
So proud of her.
Yeah, very proud of her.
Yeah, because she's watched Emma and all of us go through some really tough things that any child shouldn't have to be exposed to, but she's just taken it with, she has a beautiful faith in God also, and she just is always there for her sister and supporting her along the way, and she's just a strong little girl. I think I believe it'll benefit her as an adult, and she's going to be a more caring, compassionate person because of what she's been through. We're so overwhelmingly proud of Riley because everything she's been through, and yet she doesn't let anything get in her way of being the best big sister and just being a great kid, just a wonderful little girl.
Now fast forward, she's 9 years old here. Seeing that growth and that uncertainty when you guys first got that diagnosis to where you guys are at now, I guess how positive are you for that, and knowing that there's still more obstacles to overcome, but to see that growth for that many years, how do you guys feel at this moment?
Well, it's just a miracle, really, because the doctors tell you there's no treatment or cure. Most kids don't live beyond age 4, and Emma's 9 and she's doing great, and she has a trach, but it's capped all day. It's capped off where she's breathing on her own because there's a cap on it. She's not using her trach to breathe during the day. She uses a ventilator at night, but she's just it's just amazing to see, and it just strengthens our faith even more because we just rely and put all our trust and faith in him. We put our girls in his hands, and we just see miracles every day that Emma and Riley are both thriving and just the joy that she has despite the obstacles she's been through. She's been through very difficult hospitalizations, 2.5-month-long hospitalization where we were in Phoenix and she had to get the trach because they intubated. She went into respiratory failure. This was when she was 4. So she went into respiratory failure. They intubated twice, weren't able to extubate, and we had to make the difficult decision that no parent should have to make, that you either proceed with a trach or we will lose her. And so she still at that point had so much life in her. When this all happened, she was sick with a virus, and that's what led to that quick downhill. But she was so full of life, and we know that her quality of life was still so good at that point. And so we made the difficult decision to proceed with a trach. If she was not having a good quality of life and if things were really bad, then we may have made a different decision. but at that point she was still thriving and happy and healthy, and you just do make the best decision you can, knowing that God's guiding you. And
now I'm going to ask you each a question on this one, and I want your individual answers here. Jacob, we'll start with you on this one. What does family mean to you?
Oh, family means to me is taking care of those that you love most. And I think of family, I come from a big family, and I love all my big family. And right now as a father, my focus is my family under this roof. So making sure that they're all taken care of to the best of their ability. They have, continue to have a home to live in, food to eat, as long as I can provide those, and spread God's word every day. Every day we try to, we read the Bible at night. Courtney and I read it together in the morning and at night, pray together. So because it's tough. It's tough on a marriage too. And so, we've definitely had our share of obstacles. So it's to be able to overcome. And right now, I feel like we're in a good place. We weren't always the best team members to each other, and now we are. Now we're really good together. So family it means a lot, and of course extended family. I have brothers and a sister and great parents, and so wonderful aunts, uncles, cousins, and I'd do anything for them, and they do the same for me. But my ultimate concern right now is what's happening in this house and making sure that they're all taken care of.
Courtney, my question for you is, what does love mean for you?
wow, love is what gets me through every day, and the love of God, who I put first every day, and He just provides, and the love for our family is just why it's my purpose, what drives me, and just because Jacob, the girls are my whole world, and I will do what it takes, to give them the best life, to be the best wife and mother, and just give them the life that they deserve, the joy, the happiness, despite what we face every day, despite the storms of life. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it because we have faith in God, and He's getting us through it, and we keep our eyes on Jesus, and we're making it through every day.
Hey, it's Mato the Master Medina inviting you to join me every Monday and Friday morning at 8:15 as I'll be doing the EP Sports Network Sports Report on the Morning Mash with Johnny Cage and DJ Javi on 104.3 Hit FM. We'll talk about the latest things going on in the world of sports, plus we'll have some laughs as we do it. It's the EP Sports Network Sports Report on the Morning Mash with Johnny Cage and DJ Javi at 8:15, Mondays and Fridays only on 104.3 Hit FM.
Now, as we enter year 2025, your foundation's got a lot of stuff going on that you guys are trying to help raise awareness. February 28th is Rare Disease Day as well.
So, yes, Rare Disease Day is February 28th, and so we haven't really decided yet what we're doing. We may have a coloring contest or something that to bring awareness to mitochondrial disease. We're still in discussion about that, but just going on our website to learn more, and there's ways to donate, because we do have really promising research going on at UT Southwestern, and the gene therapy they're having amazing results, and that's the research that we're funding, that our foundation is funding, as well as we're funding drug repurposing research, where you take drugs that are already FDA approved, they're already out there in the market, and they're testing them for the SIRF1 mutation, for Leigh Syndrome, and to determine if there's already drugs out there that could help our kids. And so they're showing some very promising results. So what the funding is, the science is there, which I couldn't say for years ago. 6 years ago, we couldn't say that the science was there, but the science is rapidly catching up, and the science is there, but the funding is not. We've already raised over $1 million. Our foundation that we started with another family out of McKinney, Texas. Several families with the same mutation as our daughter. We've all come together and raised over $1 million, but we have about $3 million to raise for this very promising research that they're having incredible results with, and it's showing a lot of promise for a treatment, possibly a cure. So we're trying to fund this research.
And we are now joined by Riley and Emma here. Welcome, guys. Riley, first question for you. What is the best thing about your parents?
When they let us do fun stuff.
You being a big sister, what do you want to provide for her?
A good example.
Now, Emma, we're going to go to you, Emma. How is your day going so far, Miss Emma?
No. Okay.
Emma, what do you like most about your sister?
Dad, she's nice.
That she's nice? That is awesome. That's awesome. Emma, what do you like the most about your parents?
They love us.
Now, Jacob and Courtney, we got the girls here with you as well. Seeing them by your guys' side, Jacob, we'll start with you. How does that make you feel as a dad?
Great. It's the best feeling. This is all I want right here.
And Courtney?
Yes, amen to that. This is our whole world right here. This is all we want, and this is why we fight, and this is our whole reason, our why.
Now, this past September, you guys got to experience something pretty cool here at Coronado High School as the girls were honorary captains for one of the football games against Andrus Golden Eagles. How did that come about? Jacob, can you explain how that came about?
Sure. So I reached out to Mike Pry, who's Coronado's head football coach, sometime last spring. And I said, hey, Mike, Mike and I had played together in college, so we've kept in touch, but reached out to Mike, and I said, hey, I want my daughters to be around your players. I just want them to be exposed to positive people and good work ethics, and to just come around practice every now and then whenever we can make it, no expectation. So then the next thing he does is reply back with, well, of course, and then days go by and he says, okay, here's what we're gonna do. And so he mentioned it to the booster club, and Mike's just a real proactive guy. He wants to help everybody. And he said, we're gonna make them honorary team captains. We're gonna have a green out. We're gonna get stickers made. And then days later, he's texting me pictures of what the socks are gonna look like and stickers, what are gonna go on the helmets, and they say Emma's name. So it was a really neat experience. How it went from just say, no expectations, can we come around practice, to, hey, now they're honorary team captains.
Now, Courtney, to hear that, were you a big sports fan growing up?
No. No, but it's awesome to just be a part of the team. And no, I never really enjoyed watching football. I shouldn't say that around this crowd. My Longhorns, I went to UT, so I'm a Longhorn. So I enjoy watching the Longhorns, and I would play some tennis here and there, but it was just awesome to be part of the team and for them to be the co-captains. That's what they were called, the captains, yes. The honorary captains of the team.
Now, walk us through. I know you guys got to experience practice there. Girls, Riley, we'll start with you. How was that experience getting on the football field and seeing all those boys out there hitting each other and not hurting themselves, hopefully?
Cool.
cool.
And Emma, for you, how was that getting to go onto the football field and see those football players?
Cool.
It was cool.
And for you, Jacob, to see your girls kind of experience something different there, even though it's at the high school level, granted it was against your guys' rival school there, what was that range of emotions to see that, to seeing your little girls out there participating in such a great event?
It was awesome. I loved it. As a matter of fact, Riley would ask, can we go to practice? So she really started enjoying it, and the players were great, and the coaches as well, don't get me wrong. They'd all come, we show up, and they'd all come give the girls a high five. So it was really neat. So, and hugs, and yeah, we gave them permission to hug the girls, and so my emotions was just pure joy.
Now, can you walk us through game day? Like you said, speaking with Coach Pry, that he called Coach Taylor from Andress, they were dialed in as well, the whole student body as well. Everybody was decked out in green. Visitor-wise there, when you guys walked into that stadium, what was just going through your mind? We'll start with you, Courtney, on that one. When you walk in to see, okay, there's some green here. The cheerleaders are wearing green. Like, what was that emotions like?
I'm just always overwhelmed. I was just blown away by the support, all the people coming out to just support our cause and our little Emma, and just everyone wearing green and cheering for Emma. The cheerleaders would do cheers like "Go Emma" or "Cure Mito," and just walking out on that field and seeing Emma and Riley get to do the coin toss, and just everyone's support was I can't describe how I felt, because I was just blown away by all the love and support, and I just thank everybody who was involved in helping us.
Now, Emma, I saw you on your wheelchair out there. Did you get to do any donuts on the middle of the field out there, racing out there?
Driving a circle?
No.
Well, during one practice, this is kind of funny. So we actually showed up for a practice, and they ended early. And so we got there late, and so we did some donuts out there on the field. We had it all to ourselves.
You had it all to yourselves there. Now,
Kaysen pushed Emma out on the field, and that was just a really awesome moment, watching him push her out to do the coin toss.
To see the youth get behind a cause that they probably don't know that much about, but not, like you guys are doing, to raise awareness for it, to see the youth kind of get behind you guys, how does that make you feel for the future?
Well, it feels really good, and that's one reason I reached out to Coach Pry, was not just for our girls, but for also to spread awareness about not just Emma, but anybody who's going through a hard time, or for them to be better young men as they go through life, because they're about to become full-grown adults here pretty soon. So they need to be able to, I said, you can be animals on the football field. You need to be. But when you're off and you see a kid in a wheelchair or somebody who needs help, no matter what's going on with that person, just be nice, be kind. You can be kind, and you earn more respect that way. You're nice off the field, and you get after it when you're on the field.
Mm-hmm. Now, you guys did mention that there is is it Mito, sorry, there I go again, Mito Awareness Week happening in September, correct? Is that correct? Yes. September week. Also during birthday weekends as well. Yes. I see I'm a fellow September baby as well too. So I know you want to issue a certain challenge there, Mr. Jacob, as well, during that week for this next upcoming 2025 season. So what challenge do you have for the city of El Paso, not even just El Paso, but maybe other neighboring states or anybody else watching along the nation?
Yeah, is to wear green. And so I'll give you an example. So Coach Pry at Coronado, he had the kids wear the socks, the green socks for the Andress game. And Andress got on board, and they wore green socks as well. So my challenge is for all the football teams in El Paso, outside of El Paso, join in, but wear green socks, Mitochondrial Awareness Week, and we'll get the news on when that date is. And then Coach Lawrence, who's also the volleyball coach at Coronado, he's had his team support in the past, and they've worn green bows in their hair. They paint ribbons, painted their face like little mitochondrial, the green ribbon, yeah. Mm-hmm. So my challenge is everybody wear green that week, and we'll definitely follow up. And I need your help, Ace, and you, Coach, to spread the word. And I'm going to have Coach Pry get on everybody as well.
So that should be a great opportunity there to help raise awareness, which makes me cycle back here to Courtney, as we talked about a little bit earlier, is how tough it is for any rare disease. A lot of people don't understand that there's no federal funding to help for this. Each family's kind of left on their own on an island there. So how important is it to raise awareness out to help drive, funds for research and support for all these rare diseases?
It's just critical. It falls, unfortunately, on the parents' shoulders, this heavy burden of raising millions of dollars because we don't get federal funding. We have to raise the money on our own. It falls when the disease is rare or not much known about a disease. The parents, the burden falls on our shoulders while we're caring for 24/7 for medically complex children. We've had to raise. And yes, it gives us so much hope, and we are just so thankful for everyone who comes out to support us and to support our cause, because we can't do this alone. We need you. We need everyone's help, and just to see the community come together for these kids who just deserve the world, because they are pure joy and blessings and love. Just the definition, they encompass all of that, and we just need everyone to come out and just show your support, show your love, and support this amazing cause. We need you. We can't do it alone. All the parents of children suffering from this disease, we need you.
One more time, where can people find more information about you guys on your website and your social media handles? We'll also have those links in the bottom of this video as well, but where can people find out some more info?
Yes, we have curemito.org, our website. We have all the social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all of them. And YouTube. We have a YouTube channel too. And yes, and then it's amazing that Emma's birthday falls on Mitochondrial Awareness Week every year. She's always lands on mitochondrial disease. So just everyone coming out to celebrate this girl's birthday, which is a miracle every day, that she's here at 9 years old and going strong, and that it lands on Mitochondrial Awareness Week is just amazing, and that God blessed us with this ability to raise awareness and help other kids and other families, and we're going to do what it takes.
Last thoughts there. First from you, Jacob, the message you want to send to everybody.
Trust in the Lord, no matter what comes across your way. Trust in God and always put Him first, and you'll be okay. I didn't mean for it to rhyme.
Courtney, your final thoughts on this one?
Yes, I agree with Jacob. God first in everything, and then family second, and others, and just showing everyone His love, doing His will, and helping others. God, He wants us to help. He blesses us so that we can bless others, and that's our mission, just to bless other people, other families, and spread His love every day to others, and fight for our families.
As your foundation says, you're with them for every step of the journey. So for more information, folks, you guys can go to curemito.org.
Yes.
.org there to find out how you can help, donate, volunteer, or just share it so it can help spread awareness. Yes. So Boggs family, we wanted to thank you for taking the time out here and sharing your story here. And for all those watching, we'll have all the links to all their pages and social channels there. So until the next episode, we will be back. This is Arty's Community Corner. We thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. This has been a presentation by the El Paso Sports Network. Follow us at www.epsportsnetwork.com.